You know that feeling, right? You've got this brilliant engineering idea. It's technically solid, it's elegant, it's just better. And then you watch it die a slow death in a conference room. It's maddening, and it happens all the time. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out why. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's what keeps so many of us up at night. You've got the data, you've got the simulations, you are objectively right, and still, the project goes to some other less efficient, maybe even clunky alternative. Well, the answer, it turns out it has almost nothing to do with your code or your schematics. Okay, let's just rewind for a second. Why are we even in this field? We're builders, right? We're puzzle solvers. We love to create things that have never, ever existed before. It's that core drive to just make cool new stuff. And this quote, man, it just nails that feeling perfectly. This is the soul of engineering. It's looking at the world and saying, yeah, that's fine, but what if we could do this? And there is nothing, I mean nothing like that feeling when you ship. It could be software, a piece of hardware, doesn't matter. It's your baby, and you're finally sending it out into the world. It is one of the absolute best parts of the job. But that pure, simple joy of creation, it often runs smack into a giant brick wall. And here's that brick wall. The corporate world is a totally different animal. The casual, merit-based rules you have when you're just a couple of friends hacking away on a project, yeah, those get thrown right out the window in a big company. You know, it's funny. We have this idealized picture of engineering, right? The white lab coats, the brilliant idea sketched on a napkin. But the day-to-day reality for most of us, it's the corporate environment. It's a calendar full of meetings, an endless parade of PowerPoint decks, and yeah, politics. So here's the thing. Building the actual product is only one piece of the puzzle. A huge chunk of your time is spent on all this other stuff. Getting everyone to agree, writing massive project plans, endless status meetings, and, you guessed it, dealing with all the posturing and political games. This is the stuff that can grind a great idea to a halt. Which brings us to the real heart of the matter, the unwritten rules of the game. And in this game, your technical skills are not the most valuable currency. Something else is. Just think back for a second to your college days. All those classes on calculus, physics, data structures, and algorithms. What's the one skill that's absolutely vital for success in a corporation that was completely, totally ignored? Yup, that's it. Social interaction. It's almost ironic, isn't it? The very personality traits that often make someone a great focused engineer are sometimes the opposite of what's needed to build relationships, to persuade people, and to just navigate the social landscape of an office. It's the missing piece. And this quote, it is brutally honest, but you need to hear it. At the end of the day, your manager might not understand the deep technical nuances of your proposal. So what do they rely on? They default to who they trust. They bet on people, not on ideas. So let's define this. Social trust. Think of it like a bank account. It's the currency that gets your ideas heard in the first place. You don't build it by being the smartest person in the room and pointing out everyone else's mistakes. You build it through relationships, by being seen as supportive and reliable. Okay, so if this social trust thing is so powerful, let's take a look at how it completely shatters the so-called logical process for developing a product. I mean, on paper, this looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's so clean, so logical. You have an idea, you get the money, you write the requirements. It's a perfect straight line. This is how every project should work. And there it is, the reality check. The person who wrote our source material has been in the industry for years, and they state, flat out, that they've never seen it happen this way. Not once. So why not? Because that blueprint, that perfect logical plan, forgets one crucial variable. People. We're not robots. We bring all our human messiness to the table, our stubbornness, our pride, our egos, and our tendency to be way, way too optimistic about how easy things will be. And this human element leads to some, let's call them interesting behaviors, like this gem, risk cosmetology. I love this term. It's not risk management, it's risk makeup. It's the fine art of making a terrifyingly risky project look simple and safe to the higher-ups, all while praying the engineers can perform some kind of miracle behind the scenes. And this is where it can get kinda dark. You have to understand that project schedules and cost estimates are not always objective truths. They can be used as weapons. You can fudge the numbers to make your pet project look cheap or to make a rival's idea look way too expensive to ever get approved. Now check this out, because it shows you exactly where the games are played. See those O's? That stands for opportunity for shenanigans. These are the parts of a project with fuzzy, uncertain future costs, like a next-gen processor that isn't even out yet. It's the perfect place for a manager to pencil in a ridiculously low number for their favorite project, because hey, who can prove them wrong? All right, so it sounds a bit bleak, I know. The system seems full of politics and flawed human beings. But it's not hopeless. The key is to stop fighting the game and start understanding the rules so you can actually win. So let's get into your survival guide. Okay, listen up because this is some of the most practical advice you're ever going to get. Rule number one, and I mean this, never, ever, ever correct your boss or make them look bad in a public meeting. Even if you're 100% right, it's career suicide. You take it offline, you approach them privately. Your goal is not to win the argument, it's to build that social trust. And now for my favorite piece of advice. This is your secret weapon, your Jedi mind trick. You know that product requirements document that marketing is supposed to write but is always late on? Volunteer to write it for them.
I know, it sounds like a ton of extra work, but here's why this is a genius move. 1. He who writes the requirements controls the product. You get to define what you're building. 2. You become an absolute hero to the marketing department. You're making their life easier, which builds massive goodwill. And 3. You instantly become the go-to expert on the project. You become indispensable. So let's end on this. In this world of manipulated schedules and pressure to cut every last penny, it's really easy to forget what we're actually here to do. You know, the cheapest possible product is just an empty box. It costs nothing to make, but nobody's going to buy it. So the real question you have to keep asking yourself is, are we actually building value here? Or are we just racing to see who can build the cheapest empty box?